This is going to be more of a overall look at what I consider the most overlooked swim bait, which is the topwater swim bait. Also became famous from the Tyrant. This is the 8-inch. Of course, not from him. This is the one I made from a replica mold I made of his. Everything here is made from the idea of fishing a swim bait on the top of water, rigging it differently from the Tyrant style to fluke style, and what I call the only one that hasn't really been made out there, the small baitfish style. We'll start with the Tyrant style. So recently I found out that they have a 6-inch version of it. Now this is not the exact one, it's not made by Working Class, and you can find the mold at Bug Molds. So what I did was I made a insert for the cavity and replicated it as well, which I'll show you now. That's the 6-inch. It's a front pour, top pour is better for the actual denting and the lamination, I find. So that's why I changed it from the standard injection style to the top pour. Then I was like, well, if they can make a 6-inch, maybe they can make a 4.5-inch. So I contacted Bug Molds and asked them if they would do that for me. And they did. My first ever aluminum mold. The only thing I wish they had done differently is I wish they would have made it a top pour instead of an injection mold. I built the insert myself. I asked them to put the insert in there, which was just the metal piece. And then I, of course, modified it to make the cavity that I need. By the way, you can find these Bug Molds on sale. I think that they're asking like 120 bucks for it, which isn't bad. Out of all the Tyrants, it's the 4.5 I catch the most fish on. And yeah, I do catch a lot of the fish just using a standard 4/0 swimbait hook with about an 1/8 ounce to a 1/4 ounce weight. I also use a little bit of a tungsten right there in the fins, and that makes it fall so perfectly. But that's not what we're here talking about underwater. No, we're talking about how to fish it on top. And that's what we're going to talk about. There's several ways to rig a topwater swim bait. But I find the best way to rig it is also the same way that is rigged with Tyrant, except for the simple fact that I don't put a head case harness inside of my bait. I feel like it's overkill. And it's also complicated. I don't have time for it. This is how I do it. This is a 50-pound braid. See if I can get that focused in right. And a split ring. That's a small size 10 treble. And I have, of course, that split ring attached to a screw lock. Now inside the bait, I have my float, which you can take out and put back in, just like on the Tyrant. Except for this is made from a foam material, not a resin. It's cut to fit. And then, of course, a couple tungsten nail weights right here on the end. And this thing sits so perfectly in the water. And I've caught so many fish on it so far. I've had a lot of fun with it. I'm going to actually sell these finally. for my first actual bait to sell. And I'll probably catch some flack for it, because, tyrant-esque. And, Mike might get a little upset that I'm selling these. But I feel like if he would have just came out with the 4-inch or 4.5-inch or even a 6-inch, then I wouldn't have had to go to this level. So I will sell these, and I will sell the 6-inch. So let's talk about the 6-inch. The best way to talk about all of them is by comparison. So that is your 8-inch. And of course this is your 6. Laid next to each other. And then last but not least, a little 4.5. That doesn't give you a very good look at it, does it? Let's see here. What's a better way to propose this? Do it like so. There's 1, 2, and there's the 8-inch. So you can see the dramatic size difference in them. And they fish the same. They swim the same. And the way I fish them on top of the water is I do a very slow retrieve with a gentle pull and stop. That gentle pull and stop is everything. And I say gentle, I mean quicker than your retrieve. That's exactly what I mean. That's really all I got to say about this bait. I mean, it speaks for itself. You can look for it on eBay and on Facebook Marketplace, where I'll be selling them. I will not be selling the 8-inch. I feel like that's disrespectful. So don't ask, please. The other thing that I'm going to look to sell is my new hollow-bodied fluke. So this is a fluke style bait, but it's hollow. It's got a very small hole, kind of like a pee hole you would have on a hollow-bodied frog. And you use this on a EWG 1/0 hook, and it floats just like that. And when you twitch it, it will go down and then shoot back up, just like a fluke does. It does all the same thing fluke do. And I catch a ton of fish on them because of the fact that they float. I don't understand why they never made a floating fluke. It's just bananas to me. The other thing I made recently that I'm real proud of is a hollow body spark shad. Now, this isn't exactly like the spark shad that everybody's aware of and can see, but this is based on that model with the little triangle fins, little tail here, and the very thin paddle tail. But it's hollow. Again, also can be rigged with a 1/0 EWG. Now this one will sink a little bit more because there's not nearly as much plastisol to help hold it up at the top like the fluke does. But if you run it with a good moderate retrieve, it gets smashed and you can pause it and they will just hammer it. And they eat it deep. I'm working on a 3.5 and I'm going to do the 4-inch too. That brings me to my little ones. So these are the ones I originally started making. I call it my SS Minnow. And then when I was starting to learn on how to do the smaller bait and how to make it float and all that good stuff, first thing I did was I tried a line through with a treble hook, but that was a lot of work, and I didn't like the fact that the line through straw would always come undone. No matter how much glue I put on it, it would tear out. And then also the other problem I had with it was the fact that the hookup wasn't great, even though you're putting a treble hook on the bottom. It was always better to put a small mosquito-sized drop shot hook on right at the nose of this, with a screw lock in there to hold it in. And then, of course, there's a float inside here as well. I do floats in all the baits I can, except for the fluke and the spark shad. I think that would be overkill. It would be hard to weight it properly. But as you can see, I've went through several different models here, styles of ideas and fins and all types of crazy stuff. If I could just tell you guys how many types of these baits I've made in the last 5 years. It's why I got into bait making. And then when I found out about the Tyrant, I felt like somebody had beat me to it. And then I got really into it, into the idea of modifying and making it better. And I like throwing big swim baits. I do. Honestly, I used to not until I got into the working class zero realm and started throwing citizens, which I still make. That whole thing is full of citizens. But my point is that you don't always need a big bait to catch good sized fish. What you need is something that matches the hatch half the time, depending on what time of year, what time of day, so forth and so on. I don't have to sit here and preach about that. Most people already understand that logic. So here I am. Just wanted to show you guys some of the colors that I've been doing. It's a straight clear. The trout pattern is my favorite. You know, any of the rainbow trout patterns, making it kind of look like a brown, it really works well. It's probably my most productive color. My second most productive color are my darks, which is sort of like a purple hieroglyph color shift with black back. Get a lot of those. I'm doing a lot of these chrome paint jobs too, getting into the paint. They work pretty good as well. Whites always work great. Let me show you some of the 6-inch ones now. Been doing a lot with the silver and the clear. This one, I actually put a foil insert around the float on the inside. I'll show you what I mean. See? So that it comes through sort of like a flash jay. I think that's pretty neat, huh? And that's fully clear. And then you got your other styles like your light browns, for instance. The only thing I don't like about this color is the fact that if you are going to fish it on top, it really shows up that insert. I wish I could figure out how to make a clear insert that floats. If you guys have any ideas, let me know. Please like, subscribe. I'm sure like a lot of you guys are going to be probably on Mike's side and not happy with what I'm doing here, but I feel like for the majority of the other fishermen out there that this is something that is not talked about and should be talked about. And I really wish somebody mainstream would make something that was more, what's my word I'm looking for, consistent. Yeah, with more of an engineer into the idea of the cavity becoming either the float chamber or a scent chamber, because when I don't float it, I fill it full of scent, and that's the best part about a hollow bodied swim bait. I think that's all I've got for you guys. I hope that you guys enjoy this video, you get something out of it. Please look for my eBay page. I'm going to link it down below if you want to buy any of the 6s or the 4.5s, or if you even want some of the hollow body flukes. I'm not asking a lot of money for them. They will come with eyes. They will come with one rigging for the top water, and I will not be putting the 4/0 swim bait hook. I think everybody has 4/0 swim bait hooks, but whatever it doesn't have are the harnesses with the screw locks. Anybody can make them. It's fairly simple to make, but I feel like if I want people to fish this, I should put it on there what works for me, because this is a 10/0 treble hook, but it's a 4 size hook, meaning like the girth of the wire is size. It's a 4 string. It's not a 1 string. It's very stout. eBay, Amazon rather. Anyway, tight lines, everybody.